Hello, everybody. Welcome to 50/50 Booking. This is the episode from May 2nd, 2021. And yeah.
Back again with the booking shenanigans.
Yeah. And no trash bags so far this week. So,
I don't know. I did put a few in the bin earlier because it's bin day tomorrow.
You're going to get fired from creative for that. You know that's what's going to happen, don't you?
I did tie them up properly at least. And I left all the post-it notes on the inside.
Well, that's the thing, you see. You've got to be very careful with that stuff because you are dealing right now with
Away.
Because technically I am, but yeah.
I can respect that.
So definitely in the day job. So, and since I pretty much run this network, I would call myself the head of creative.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
No arguments here.
Cool. Right. Before we do get too far into the show, though,
there should be like brackets on your name. I will just say head of creative bracket, head of quizmaster bracket, head of round making bracket, head of wheel making bracket.
If I literally put everything that I was in charge of, there'd be no room and we wouldn't be on the screen.
This is true.
So it's best I just leave it to a single title. Otherwise, yeah. Also, my hands would ache after all that typing.
Yeah, you'd have blisters upon fingers upon fingers.
Yeah, pretty much. Before we get going, though, obviously you guys are aware, obviously you got Aaron here carrying colours. And because we are now in May, ladies and gentlemen, we have a new charity.
Who actually
Tell us about it.
This charity doesn't have merch, so I'm going out of my way to actually create some merch for them. So obviously right now, bog standard clothing. So I haven't got round to the printing studio yet that we have in town in Sheerness to get one of their logos printed on like a plain white polo top. But yeah, gonna be getting a top for the month sooner rather than later, hopefully. It's Anxiety UK, and if you want to check them out on Instagram, it's Anxiety UK official, and they deal with people who suffer with anxiety. And I actually suffer with anxiety and social anxiety, so it's a great charity. And this month I'm doing 30 days of trying something new. So every day I'm trying something completely new, something I've never tried before. And if you saw yesterday's video that I posted today, if that makes sense, because obviously booking, real life booking.
It's a pre-taped segment, people. Pre-taped.
Yeah. I tried a Star Bar for the first time. And yeah, it's okay. I think my word that I used was noise. It was noise.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Tomorrow, though, I'm actually trying a Galaxy Bar for the first time. Their new smooth orange one. I'll be trying that for the first time tomorrow.
Right. No to the Galaxy Bars. No. Put them down and walk away.
Why? Is it because if I like them, there's be less for you?
Yeah, because they're mine. But
I saw them today for £2 for £1 in the co-op because they're trialing them out because they're the new flavours, obviously. So I was just like, well, I haven't tried that before. Not many people have either. I was just like, yeah, I'll pick up one of those or two, just in case I like it. And then they had the big bars next to it as well that are like that big, and they were £1 as well. And I was just like, yeah, I'll take one of them as well, just in case.
No.
If they come out with like one of the big bars by tomorrow, then I'll just pick one of those up as well, just to make sure that if I do like it, I have plenty.
You will not like it.
You're probably right. I won't. I'll probably be like, no.
Yeah, in all seriousness, I'm just teasing it. I'm just teasing Aaron here because, it's just one of those things. But obviously, for those of you who want to keep up with Aaron's escapades and what he's doing, obviously, you got the charity page, which I've been flashing up randomly here. So this is where you go to for donations. The link is in the description down below on YouTube, people. And, obviously, if you're on Twitch, you're going to have to come to the site itself, or Carry Colors, or basically come to the YouTube page.
The Twitch is down there if you want to go check it out. I have over 400 followers now since the 24-hour game with a name challenge, so that went well.
Good. That's very good.
I got raided mid-stream by somebody who had 3.5k viewers, and I was taken back because like all of a sudden the conversation bar was red hot, and I was like, oh god, I'm being asked questions left, right, and centre. So I was like, well, okay then, thanks. And then next minute I know it's gone, and I was like sitting there thinking, what the hell was that all about? And the next morning I went onto the page because I had 23 followers the day before, and I checked on the followers thing, and it said 465 people following me. I was like, wait, what? Refresh. No, the number's not changing.
Yeah, it's something I understand happens when you get, because some people I know have been giving me advice, because I don't know that about Twitch, but a lot of time apparently when you get raided, a lot of time part of what they tell you to do is give them a follow once you've raided them.
Yeah.
So, but that's good though, especially for what you do, because obviously with the charity stuff. So.
Yeah, I know that most streamers pick it at random, but like some streamers do have like an eye open for like the word charity and stuff like that. So I always make sure I put charity stream in the header, so that way there's just the odd case that somebody sees it and thinks, oh yeah, I'll just give it a quick browse.
Yeah, it's the same for anytime you post anything. For instance, when these shows go up, I have to tag and put certain targets in so people know to find them. Also, why the shows to get the titles they do.
Yeah,
I have to then tag stuff. There's a whole bunch of back end stuff I have to do to optimize searchability.
Yeah, we all have.
For those, you have to use things like Google. But you have to manually do it for stuff like this, is what I mean. So you have to know what to do. And that's similar to what somebody would do for that. So when you post your thing saying this, then people, if they're looking specifically for like charity, will be, it's more likely to come up because you've put charity in there. So it makes sense.
Yeah, it's all the different tags and stuff that you like to like associate yourself with. I find it funny how YouTube have a section where they put in, if you think your name is going to be misspelt, please place here. So I always put colours spelt the American way and colours spelt the UK way, just so that way both come up.
It makes sense because it is something that they do. I have seen corrected before when it shouldn't be corrected, because it's corrected the American version when it's been a British person doing it, which means obviously it's wrong.
I mean, I had a couple of American people actually give my channel a watch a couple of weeks ago. So apparently, because I got my I think it's not annual, like 6 monthly review, I think it is, in from YouTube, and it told you like where your main target audience is, and obviously mine's in UK. But I had actually 1 or 2 people watching from America, 1 from Australia. I was like, wow, okay, my audience is a bit lost.
Yeah, that's not. We're not gonna bore the people with back end analytics from YouTube, but there's ways to find that stuff out whenever you like. But yeah. So there's a lot that goes into this stuff, people. But obviously, that's not why the people are here. They're here for the wrestling.
Yeah, sorry.
So, but it's not a worry. But obviously, the charity stuff's important because it's something you do as well. So, Anxiety UK, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. And you can find that also when Aaron does his Twitch stuff. That's here.
Oh wow! I only had 20 followers there.
Yeah, this is a landmark one. I don't worry. I'll grab a screenshot at some point of your updated ones. We'll use that.
I love how it's got your sister on the screen as well. And grey marking.
Wow. Yeah. Well, It's the shot. It's the screenshot you gave me, so that's down to you.
I don't even. I can't even. I think that's the one victory royale she got while I was dead as well. I was like, yeah, okay.
It's one of those fun things, people, because pretty much Aaron and most of the people I know play all these things. I don't have a clue. So when they tell me these things, I'm like,
Yeah, I am going to be expanding my streaming repertoire as well since the 24-hour challenge happened, which is going to be good. So I have a lot of different games to be playing with.
see. It's kind of like I kind of sit there like Vince McMahon at a creative meeting. I'm like,
is he big enough? What?
And then I'm like, okay, I'm just going to do it all one anyway. So yeah. Which brings us, unfortunately, to Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, I didn't take any notes.
Yeah. I have some stuff here, so we'll just go through them. It's probably ain't going to take very long, strangely enough. Okay. Right. We have a handicap match between the former Retribution, the Maskless Mace and T-Bar, against Braun Strowman. This ends in a disqualification very quickly, not surprised at all. And then out comes Theodore Long, virtually, not in reality, but virtually, and goes, as a tag team match player. And basically, Drew McIntyre gets added to this. It then becomes a tag team match, which ends in a count out when T-Bar and Mace win.
Yeah.
Yeah. This leads to the main event later, I will point out as well.
I'd also like to point out, being as they beat both of the number one contenders in a tag team match, shouldn't they be in the match, like in line for a title opportunity now as well? Isn't that how the booking works?
It should work that way, but they're Retribution.
Retribution want titles too, unless they don't understand how WWE works.
They're not booked that way, are they?
But it kind of doesn't make sense then that they're in a tag team match to begin with.
Vince McMahon, he doesn't know that he doesn't like tag teams. Vince McMahon, he doesn't like tag team. Vince McMahon, he doesn't like the tag teams. It's well established fact.
I'm just gonna record that and set it as their ringtone.
I feel sorry for them because I can't sing. But anyway.
Well, they want their phone to be answered really quickly, wouldn't they? Or they set it as an alarm clock. Ooh.
Oh, okay. If you want to do it as an alarm clock, how about this? That tag team match was some good shit. There you go.
That sounds more like a text alert.
Good luck on your future endeavors. There you go. That's a text alert.
You're fired.
That's what you say when you have the phone. Right. Trust me, there's plenty of people who can vouch for that one. Right. So yeah, I mean, knowing WWE's booking, it's weird they're not involved in it. I would definitely would tell you that, but obviously, it's T-Bar and Mace. So I'm guessing they don't care about them. Surprise.
Probably not.
That's my honest answer to that one. Oh, but the next match, Jesus Christ, is probably just as bad. We have Damian Priest and the New Day versus The Miz, Elias, and the last member of the Forgotten Sons.
I only enjoyed the tomato segment because I saw a tomato bounce off of the Miz's face and I fucking laughed.
Well, apparently he did come to play. That's all I'm saying.
And yeah, Morrison got hit in the gonads with a tomato too.
Which does beg a question: why isn't Morrison in this match?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
I mean, I would much prefer Morrison to the guy that used to be in the Forgotten Sons. Easily prefer Morrison.
If Morrison's injured, then like I'd understand that, but there was no mention of a reason why he wasn't in it.
Even if Morrison's injured, I would still prefer him.
No, but I meant like seriously injured, like not fit to compete injured.
Yeah, but there hasn't been anything that I'm aware of, to be fair. I mean, maybe there is.
I haven't even heard anything.
Yeah. So, discuss what is. Priest and New Day win, at least. At least that kind of makes sense. Sort of.
Yeah, there was a little thing going around about adding Damian Priest to the New Day and calling the New Day of Infamy as a little stable name, and I was just like, please no, keep Damian where he is.
No,
I know since Bad Bunny's gone off on his tour, he hasn't really got a storyline at the moment, but please just don't keep him in with the New Day. Just give him a title to go after. Let him go after the United States Championship or something.
Well, the thing is, I don't see him joining New Day simply because the New Day gimmick, the way it works, I don't think it'll work for Priest, in all honesty. But again, it's WWE, so yeah. I hope you're right that he's not involved in that at all, because no.
Yeah, just no.
So, right. Now on to the next one, and I've got some questions about this. Sonya Deville reinstates Charlotte Flair. Right.
I'm not surprised.
Neither am I. But Sonya Deville does not have the necessary power or status as an official to reinstate someone. So why is this okay?
Rhetorical question, right? Because I've got no fucking clue.
Put it this way, I don't expect an answer. If you have an answer, great, but I don't expect one because it makes, as you point out, it makes no fucking sense. But yeah, it's not surprising she's back. I would have expected her to be back.
Daddy made a phone call.
Woo! But it certainly weren't her boyfriend.
Nope.
Or fiance. I can't remember what it is actually.
Have you noticed that since he's left, she's been wearing a bit more revealing outfits too?
I don't really look at Charlotte that way, in all honesty. I never have.
I don't either. It's just something that somebody pointed out to me the other day when I was talking about WWE to a friend that I hadn't seen in a while.
I mean, that may be a thing, but the thing I would point out, though, is because I'm older than you, I remember seeing her as a very young girl watching her dad wrestle on WCW Nitro. So it'd be a bit weird for me to look at Charlotte that way.
I remember Ric Flair's retirement thing and seeing her come into the ring with his family and stuff.
We have an invader. Hello, Mr. Saggington. I hope you're having a good evening. But yeah, I mean, we fully expect her to be back. She's in a match later on Raw as well, so we will get to that. Let's see. Something I actually kind of. Sorry, go on.
I don't understand Sonya's position at the moment at all. Even with Adam Pearce behind her, but I can kind of see her getting back in the ring sometime soon, due to the fact that she arranged the match later on in the evening.
I'm not so sure she's going to. And I think the reason why she's being kept away from the ring is because of the court case. I think she's not in the right place to be wrestling.
What, emotionally?
Possibly, yeah, or even physically. She might not just be able to give it her full concentration. And I think this may be the company's way of saying, we still want you around, but this way you don't have to always be prominently on-screen talent.
She's been training with Mandy in the Performance Center.
Yeah.
As well as other wrestlers, obviously, but like more workout scenarios and stuff like that. I don't think she's in in-ring shape at the moment, but I'm just saying it could develop into a storyline later when they are ready for it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've all seen, like, general managers get in the ring before, haven't we? Even though there are no general managers in WWE.
I was going to say, yes, we have, but there aren't any at present. So, it's, yeah. I mean, I think she'll come back eventually, but I think at the moment, this is probably why she's not active, as in actively wrestling. And I think I ain't got an issue with that. But you need to explain why she's able to do this. The same reason as they should have explained why Pierce can do this stuff.
I mean, he did not seem happy in the slightest when she did it.
No,
so whether or not he got it from, like...
Well, from what I understand, she's supposed to be his assistant. Why does he
even need an assistant? Isn't he just a mouthpiece?
I don't know. This is booking. I don't know.
Assistant to the non-general manager.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I know how this stuff generally works actually backstage. I mean, legitimately, but...
I wonder how that job pays.
But for on-screen purposes, it's a case of... With what he doesn't really need an assistant for an on-screen position. But as I said before, I mean, storyline-wise, I'm sure she's there because of the court case and everything. But we will see where it leads. Because it might end up also being a storyline thing they will end up using at some point.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
So, but... I'm a fan of Sonya Deville, so I hope she is back in the ring sooner rather than later, because I much prefer to see her wrestling. But I also want her to be okay as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, and as you rightly pointed out, Sonya made a match, which we will be talking about in a bit. Because apparently she can do that. Now on to something I think is probably one of the more positive things about Raw. Sheamus is an open challenge for the United States title. I'm quite happy about that.
The bell didn't even ring, did it?
Sorry?
Did the bell ring? I can't remember.
It's more the fact of he's doing it. I'm quite happy about because I think he's the kind of wrestler who can do it.
He didn't say that the challenge was an open challenge for the United States Championship. He said it was just an open challenge.
Yeah, but that's my point. It's still an open challenge thing. But he's the kind of wrestler who can do that regardless, in my opinion, whether it's for a title or not. But you don't do open challenges like that unless you're a title holder.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to me at least. And he's one of the few wrestlers who legitimately I think can do that. He can just go there and go, okay, open challenge, come and get it. And Humberto Carrillo definitely got it.
Yeah, I mean, it was good to see him out of catering 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Let's see if there's a third.
Well, there's the infamous 3-week push, so there'll probably be another week, and then we won't see him for 6 months.
Sounds about right.
Well, that's WWE's booking philosophy, from what I understand.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We had a Bobby Lashley promo where he pretty much says, oh, I'm just going to do what's best for business, blah, 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 essentially. It's just a heel promo, which you'd expect from Lashley. It's nothing major or groundbreaking.
Huh?
Yeah, it is what it was. I only mentioned it because it was something that involved the WWE champion, so, probably should mention it.
Yeah, sure. He's there. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Then comes, I think, possibly Aaron's favourite thing that happened. It is the birth of Aaron's favourite tag team, I suspect.
I wouldn't say favourite, but they're up there at the moment. Whether or not they last is another thing completely.
Yeah, just to explain this for the people obviously watching us, we're talking about RK Bro, which is Orton and Riddle versus Benjamin and Alexander, which of course RK Bro won. I'm shocked.
I did like the segment that he did when he literally came up to Riddle and he said, "Listen, I don't normally tag with people. I don't normally play nice with others." I was just like, "Well, yes, we know this. And then he said, "But I can actually see us working. I want to tag with you." And I was just like, "Yeah, he's gonna get RKO'd." Like everything that the guy on the commentary table was saying, like, he's gonna get him from here. He's gonna get him from there. I was just like, yeah, I could see it happening too. And then when he didn't, and he was actually smiling when they got the win, I was like, does Randy actually like Riddle? Like,
Possibly.
if he doesn't, he's playing real well. Like,
I mean, it's not the first time Randy Orton's been in a tag team. He's also been a tag team champion before, so this isn't new territory for him.
yeah, and he can really help wise Riddle up a bit as well.
I don't think it's going to hurt.
At all possible.
Yeah, it's not going to hurt Riddle. Put it that way. If anything, this is a good thing because it's a case of this well-established wrestler's gone. I want to tag with him.
Mm. It's unusual for someone like Randy to want to tag with someone too.
Yeah, because there's no way Orton's doing that unless he wants to. Because he's one of the very few people in that company who has a pretty good say on what they do.
Mm. I mean, I've seen. I've watched. I don't know if everybody else has, but I've watched Stone Cold's podcast with Randy Orton.
What?
And he did say that he wanted to work with Riddle on that podcast.
What?
So, yeah.
Sorry, you said Stone Cold. It triggers the magic word.
What?
Exactly. So, yeah, it's one of those things, but it's also one of those things that people need to stop doing at wrestling events because really, it's just tired now. Also, there's much better chants you can do. Seriously.
What? Do you need a hell yeah, or are we good to move on now?
Well, you just done it, so I don't have to. So, right. Then we got the 6-woman tag match. Yeah. That's pretty much the best way to describe it. But the noise you just made. Because, I'm guessing...
I mean, I like the whole heel thing they're trying to do with Rhea and the tag team champions, current tag team champions, and the other guys. But at the same time, I was just a bit.
Yeah, it's a match that really had no point.
No, I mean there wasn't even any fire behind it, like a comment on social media or something to make this match happen. It was just decided that we was going to have champions versus people who wanted to be champions. It was like,
yeah. Also, it's not.
Please.
Yeah, it's not even like Nia hurt her ass or anything. My whole.
No, we didn't even get a B drop. Honestly, no B drops.
Yeah. Speaking of things that are probably not really going anywhere. Alexa Bliss promo. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much my opinion of it. It's like, why? Do something? Why are you doing that promo when the 3 women champions have just had a match? Do you not want to have a belt? No? Okay. Oh, you want to play with your doll? Okay, then don't be on a wrestling show.
I get it if it was building tension.
Which is not.
But she hasn't even targeted anyone. If she was to target someone and it was just like a weekly mindfuck for them, then sure. But she hasn't targeted anyone. She just keeps on talking about this bizarre little doll. Where are we going with this? It's like you're in a gridlock traffic jam on the A249. You just want to get out of it, but you can't.
Do you think maybe it's a case of she's feuding with the concept of booking?
I can get behind that. I mean, she wouldn't be the only one.
No, that's
Be a special guest on this podcast. We'll have you. It's fine.
It's probably where Bray Wyatt is right now.
Probably.
That's where he should be.
Yep.
Because, damn people, right? Let's get to the match that Sonya Deville made earlier. It's Charlotte Flair versus Mandy Rose. Guess who won this, ladies and gentlemen? I'll give you a hint. They've got blonde hair.
Narrows it down.
I know.
Flip a coin, because did it really matter?
No. But for those of you who do want to know, it was Charlotte Flair.
Are we surprised?
No.
No.
Because that's best. If you're gonna bring back someone or reinstate them or anything like that, the likelihood of them losing their first match, yeah, they're not gonna lose.
Unlike what you're on NXT.
Yeah, and I mean, Charlotte's case, she's blatantly a heel, regardless of what anyone says. If she was a face, then there's a possibility she could lose. But if you're a heel coming back, no, you're not going to lose your first match.
No, you're going to dominate and you're going to look like you hurt them, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
Ow. Sorry.
Speaking of things that happened and probably I could go without ever seeing ever again, Braun Strowman versus Drew McIntyre.
I liked the match, as in wrestling-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Just hated the way it ended, the way the interference. It was stupid. If you're going to have a match between those two guys, have a proper match. Don't have the fucking Mason T-Bar come out. Don't have the Almighty One come out. Like, who gives a fuck? Leave it between them two, and if it turns into a triple threat, it turns into a triple threat. You're just making the Almighty One look like a fucking pussy.
I mean, the thing I would say, and this is in Lashley's defense, why this could make sense, is the last title Lashley held, he lost in a triple threat match.
They did mention that.
Yeah. That at least made sense to me as to why he would get involved here.
Yeah, but T-Bar and Mace, so yeah. I don't get it. Because Braun Strowman was the one who, like, laid them both out anyway. So if they're going to attack anyone, they should have attacked Braun, not Drew. And I'm thinking maybe they did it so that way it gets the scent off of the Hurt Business as well, because they, in a way, caused the match to become a triple threat. So now that the triple threats are dead certain, I reckon at Backlash, Mace and T-Bar are going to come out and literally just attack Braun and Drew, and then Lashley's going to team up with them, and they're going to just beat the crap out of all of them, a 3-on-2 whole affair, and then Lashley's going to retain again.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did get involved, bearing in mind triple threat matches have no disqualification.
Yeah. So, like, that's what I think is going to happen, because I think that T-Bar and Mace are actually under the dollar of MVP, but they just wanted to make it look less obvious by having Drew McIntyre lose that match.
And when will this match happen?
Sorry.
What event?
WrestleMania Backlash.
There you go.
Sorry. Just call it Backlash. Stop it. I'm getting whiplash from Backlash. WrestleMania Backlash. No. Are they that pissed off that they had to use the same sign 2 years in a row that they're going to use it for a third, just so that way they don't have to use it again for a while?
Probably.
So we're going to have WrestleMania sign up in the background, and then in tiny little blue letters, Backlash underneath.
We got a point at the WrestleMania sign, right? So. What's what you're supposed to do, apparently. So, I don't know. But on the plus side, that's the end of Raw.
There wasn't a lot of matches, was there?
Nah, not at all. For a 3-hour show as well, bear in mind.
I mean, I had the same thing with SmackDown this week, to be honest. There's only 4 matches.
But SmackDown's only 2 hours, so you could get away with it. And considering what one of those matches was.
True.
So, but we will get to SmackDown, but obviously that's the last thing we're going to cover. The next thing, of course, is NXT. You look so impressed by that.
Raw I rated a 6.
Mm-hmm.
This one was better. But yeah. It's NXT, so I'm not surprised.
Well, it generally is better than Raw.
Well, Karrion Kross wasn't on it this week, so yeah.
We got a lot of Dexter though.
Yeah, and still no Scarlett in the ring.
Oh, don't worry. I was gonna get to my traditional. Why the hell isn't Scarlett Bordeaux wrestling? I was going to get there. Don't you worry.
I mean, she released a music video this week or something along those lines. I know that much.
Yeah. I just don't understand the Scarlett Bordeaux thing. I really don't.
Nope. Me neither.
You'd think Vince would take one look at her and go,
"That's some good shit."
Yeah. She's very much what Vince likes, so I don't get it.
I mean, Vince doesn't watch the independent scenes. And he doesn't watch Ring of Honor or anything like that, so he doesn't have the first clue what she's about.
Vince doesn't.
Somebody needs to send him like a tiny clip of her in action. Literally just a 5-minute clip.
Vince doesn't watch NXT, by the way, just to point that out.
Yeah, I know. I knew that as well.
Yeah, that's just for the benefit of the viewers.
So he doesn't think it can stand and deliver.
Every time you use a pay-per-view name in that kind of context, you got to take a shot.
I hate to disappoint, but I'm.
That's fine. That's fine.
And I'm out.
I meant from this point forward, just to be clear.
There's going to be serious backlash from that.
That's
one. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire! What did I do?
That's 2.
Have you ever really Royal Rumbled up? Fucked up, sorry.
Oh dear, right. Let's start with NXT.
Yeah, I'll let you take over from here.
Really? Why is that then?
I'm just over the limit.
Oh boy! Right. You're gonna be drunk, young man. Right. The way you're going.
Yeah, I feel like I've spent a night in Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, you could always
lock myself in the elimination chamber. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, but would you?
Don't. I'm already feeling unforgiven. There's no mercy here, so don't try.
Yeah, Yeah. So. At this point, you're going to be hungover for at least 6 days.
It is what it is.
Right. Let's see.
And on that fantastic note, NXT.
Yes. I have a women's match to start with, which is Martinez versus Sky. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was a great match. The new offense by Martinez was really interesting. I called the ending with Raquel interfering.
Yeah.
To be honest, like as soon as she came out with Dakota, I was just like, yeah, this is going to end in DQ.
Yeah, Martinez wins by DQ because Gonzalez basically sits about annihilating her, making a statement. I'm guessing is the idea behind this.
Yeah, and from her offense and the way that she was beating Dakota up, it was pretty damn good. And
You'd hope so.
Dakota actually held the women's championship before giving it back to Raquel, and you saw her eyeing up the championship too. So I think we might have Dakota versus Raquel in the future.
She should be. Not being funny, if you are a singles wrestler, your aim should be to be world champion.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking, how long is it going to be until Dakota stabs Raquel in the back and we have Dakota versus Raquel at a takeover match somewhere along the lines? Probably won't be this takeover. Probably will be the takeover afterwards.
I was going to say probably 6 months at the most.
I'd say less than that, possibly 3, depending on writing.
That's why I said at the most.
Yeah.
So there's that match that happened. Next thing I have is a couple of the women's tag team champions for NXT received some flowers for a card.
Yeah, from the way set up to make Dexter Lumis look like he's cheating on Indy Hartwell, I guess. But we both know they were sent by Candice.
Yeah, the card was read to Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart by Frankie Monet.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Just good causing use. Trouble.
Good use.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's get her in the ring already. I'm getting bored of looking at her.
Right, yeah. She's a wrestler. Get in the ring and wrestle. Thank you very much.
Yes.
The only people who can get away with not wrestling all the time like that is Dexter Lumis. And the reason being is because it works for his gimmick.
Yeah, and with Frankie Monet, it's like at the moment currently she's got more dust on her boots than dog fur, and we've all seen the rat she carries around.
Yeah, her and her husband are currently, neither one of them seem to be actually want to be in the ring wrestling.
Who's her husband again?
John Morrison.
Ah, right.
Basically,
hey ho ho.
She used to be Taya Valkyrie for those of you who are familiar with wrestling outside of WWE.
Yeah, I watched a couple of clips and she's actually not off bad.
Oh, she's a good wrestler, which is why, like Scarlett, in the ring.
In the ring.
She's faced Scarlett in matches before, and they're both very good.
I'd like to see that in NXT.
In the ring.
I'd like to see that in NXT. Could you imagine a backstage confrontation leading to an in-ring confrontation?
That'd be nice.
Do it.
Yeah.
She starts fighting with Carrion, and then Scarlett turns around, slaps her around the face, and then ends in the ring. Well, easy way to get them both in there.
It's not like he hasn't encountered her before either.
Huh.
So, it certainly would be a way to make it work.
Yep.
So, yeah, so apparently...
Or just use the way. Like, the way.
Yeah, apparently they're doing more than just deliver flowers. So, yeah.
So, next
I would point out that Ember and Shotzi were very annoyed about receiving flowers as well, just to be clear.
Like, ew, gross. Throw the flowers at the interviewer. Like,
WWE robotic interviewer number 7, I believe it was.
I think it was. I didn't stick around for the casting list after the show.
So they've got about 700 robots that do interviews. So
It's all good.
it'll be one of them. They used to have a really good one. They used to have a really good backstage interviewer, but for some reason they let her go. Hi, Renee. Hi.
They used to have a really good commentator too, and they just seemed to forget about him, and then his contract expired. Hi, Mauro. Hi, Mauro.
Yeah, and for those of you who want to know what Mauro Ranallo was doing recently, he was doing the main event for Impact's pay-per-view. And he was very good. Big surprise.
And his iconical words, Mamma Mia. Why the fuck did they let him go? I will never know.
No, it makes no sense to me at all. So
no. WWE booking.
Apparently the ones we have now are better.
Oh God, I'm glad my mouth wasn't full of water, because I'd have to buy a new laptop.
Yeah. Basically, we both think that's a pile of shit. So yeah.
And if you're talking about a literal pile of shit, you've heard McAfee on SmackDown.
Oh no, we will get to that. So
Storm versus Ramir. I was shocked about this.
Not what I have next.
What do you have next?
Because of the Vets promo being interrupted.
Who?
The Grizzled Young Vets.
Oh yeah, I didn't write it down because it wasn't like kind of in ring action. I did love the fact that Ciampa hit them with his own shoe.
Because it's related to stuff that's going to happen, basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Ciampa and Thatcher basically interrupt this promo. Big surprise. I'm actually kind of curious to see these teams fight as well.
Oh yeah, I am too. I'm all for it.
Which is the other reason I mentioned it, because I actually want to see this match.
Yeah. There's another match that I want to see. I'll go through that after we've done this. Cool. The UK section.
Yeah. So we have those. I have a Swerve Scott has a message for Ruff. Again, it's short, it's sweet, it's dumb.
It's Swerve.
Yeah. Now is your Renee versus Storm.
Yeah, Storm. I was shocked. I thought this was going to be a squash match.
Well, surprise.
I mean, what a moment for Ramir. Like, congrats. Like, not many people, like, do that. It was kind of like a Leon Ruff scenario, except there's no championship involved.
I think it is good every so often to get those sort of things happen in matches where everyone expects somebody's going to win and there's a surprise. I do like it as long as it's not overly done.
Yeah. I feel like that she's just going to have to enjoy it while it lasts, though, because knowing Toni Storm and her previous history, she'd probably get jumped next week or something. To which I say good luck to her.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happens.
I'm thinking like Storm Zero off the ring or something like that, maybe. Or through an announced powerbomb through an announced table. Or just a brawl backstage. Something typical NXT.
Yeah, it'll be one of those tropes.
Yeah.
It'll be trope number 3 out of the set of 7. So.
Yep. And you got Reed versus Theory next, I believe.
You missed something again. Because I'm mentioning this because it relates to the match that's going to happen for the main event. We have a message from Legado del Fantasma to their opponents tonight.
Yeah.
Kushida and MSK. I mention it because this helps to explain there was a promo which happened where basically they delivered a message to these guys. So it's what you'd expect from a heel faction. So fair enough. Now's your Reed and Theory match. Oh, Theory was accompanied by the Way.
Yeah.
And of course, we get more stuff to do with Dexter and Indy Hartwell.
I mean, to be fair, it wasn't the squash match I was expecting.
No, it was a bit surprising in that regard.
I will say this, and you're probably going to be surprised that I'm saying this, but the Loomis and Indy thing is getting boring to me now.
I can understand that, in all honesty. It's surprising you're saying it, because I know how much you like Dexter, but yeah.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where I'm just like, okay, you guys just gonna like kiss or whatever, or are you just like wasting time that could be used on actual wrestling matches?
Yeah. The thing I'm going to point out here, and this will go to people. We'll go out to people. You may have to do some research to find this. A few years ago now, Dexter Loomis used to be a guy called Samuel Shaw, in what was Impact, formerly TNA. And he had a similar situation ongoing with a character called Brittany, who's actually Santana Garrett, for those of you who know who she is. And it had this sort of thing where they ended up snogging in the ring, rolling all over referees and stuff. It got very weird. So this may end up being like a rehash of that eventually. That would be my guess.
Probably a lot more PG than Impact.
Oh, yeah.
They probably end up drawing her naked or something, or just in her Way t-shirt. Or just wearing her Way t-shirt.
Or maybe she will show him the way.
There's many ways to do it.
Exactly. Let her count the ways.
Just don't get the Kama Sutra involved. Like, Jesus. We'd be here all day.
Yeah, Dexter with the Kama Sutra would be a bad thing, because you know the drawings. That's all I'm saying.
It'd be Dexter's version of the Kama Sutra, and you'd end up with a comic book kind of thing, like this thick.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be like more like a graphic novel. Obviously, to let people know, Bronson Reed won this match, ultimately. But again, as Aaron points out, it was not a squash match, but he did beat Theory.
Yep.
But it seemed very much second fiddle to the stuff with the Way and Dexter.
Mm-hmm.
So, there you go.
And we're getting Gargano versus Reed in 2 weeks, I believe.
Oh, yes. Well, I've mentioned that. I actually forgot to put that on there, but I think you're right.
It's either next week or the week after. Because I know that there's a women's championship match happening now as well.
It's coming soon, I'm pretty sure of that. So.
Raquel versus Gonzalez is definitely in 2 weeks. I think Reed versus Gargano might be next week, but don't quote me on that.
I have a suspicion it's probably going to be this Tuesday coming, and the reason I think that is because the following night is AEW's Blood and Guts match.
I'm not sure whether or not I want to know.
It's basically it's War Games, but AEW are doing it the way it should be done, not the NXT way. It's like to be a very big deal, basically, and I think this might be WWE's counter programming. Even though, yes, they're not against each other now, strictly speaking, anymore, but it's still the same sort of demographic audience.
Yeah.
So that could be why. I don't know if that is why, but I wouldn't rule it out. WWE are known to try counter programming.
It is what it is.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So then we had the section behind backstage where Maverick and Killian were getting interviewed, and Maverick turned around and said, "I've seen this movie before. You're gonna be there. I'm gonna try and tag you, and you're not gonna be there, or you're gonna let me start the match. I'm gonna turn around. You're gonna be there, and you're all gonna start beating the crap out of me." I was just like, "Well, that's great." Maverick doesn't trust Killian, and the match hasn't even started yet. It's just like, it's good to know that Maverick knows WWE booking, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, but fortunately, I think Maverick has brought some sanity to this match.
Yeah. In more ways than one.
Oh, yeah. So, yes, it's... It's Maverick and Dane versus Imperium. For those of you who don't get the joke reference I just made.
Okay, so the match was good, but I'm not understanding the storyline. I can't. I'm not understanding where the storyline's going. I can't complain about the matches though. The matches so far have been pretty damn good, but storyline, where is this going?
Yeah, that would be the issue with it.
Yeah.
But as you point out, the match is fine. I mean, to be fair, you've got 4 decent guys in the ring for this match, so I would expect a good match.
3.5.
I think I count Maverick as a good wrestler. He's just not used very well by WWE booking.
Oh, sorry, I meant 5.5.
Are you including Wolf as well?
No, I was counting Killian Dane as 1.5 because he's like the same size as like 1.5 of the men on the other team.
Well, okay. How about 6.5 then? Because we'll count Wolf as well.
I can deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yes, but Imperium defeated Maverick and Dane. Not that surprising, really, but I think there'll be more to this.
Did surprise me was the fact that Wolf didn't hit Killian with the steel chair.
That didn't surprise me at all, actually.
And if you did like watch his facial expression closely, his lip kind of twitched like it used to in Sanity.
Yeah. And
I was just like, oh, he's having a bit of a flashback moment there.
Yeah. I think that was a deliberate tease on their part to obviously remind people, and I think that's why that happened.
Yeah, and there was a little bit of on the way Imperium do their exit from the ring with the hands behind the back. Wolf kind of loosened up a little bit and took a step forward towards Killian Dane and that. You saw Bartel and Eichner look at each other as if to say, what's going on? So they just took a step forward as well, kind of confused.
Yeah. Looking for their sanity.
I feel like Wolf is. I think he kind of misses hanging around with Killian, to be honest. Because I remember when NXT, when they were in NXT back a long time ago now, but that they used to go on like road trips together and everything. They were like at each other's weddings and stuff like that. So really good friends.
Well, Wolf and Dane were the tag team element of Sanity, so that would make sense as well. I mean, the components are there for the Sanity members. I mean, Nikki Cross is on the main roster, but they don't really use her for anything. The one who, of course, is not there anymore is Eric Young. He's currently in Impact, but he's also injured right now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, I always thought the tag team element of Sanity was better than the singles element of Sanity. That's just my opinion, though.
I think that as I tell everyone, you're always entitled to your opinions. If I agree with them or not is irrelevant. You're entitled to your opinions.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, Eric Young, great wrestler, but he never lived up to his potential because he was never given the opportunity to.
I was going to say, is that more booking than him?
That is booking.
Yeah. Because having seen a lot of Eric Young, and I have,
I've been watching his work in Impact. I've been watching his work in Impact, and he's been used really well there. There are some parts where I do dabble into other places. If, say, a wrestler that I do actually like leaves WWE, I do like keep tabs on him in my spare time.
I saw Eric Young from very much the beginning of his career when he was in Team Canada in TNA, and he looked very different to what he does now. And he was essentially the comedy goofball of the team.
Mm.
As in stupid comedy goofball. He's gone through a lot of different transitions throughout his career and done everything very well. He's just been let down by some very bad booking, in all honesty.
Yeah. So next we had Pete Dunne's segment, and he basically called out all the champions of NXT, and I liked it. I mean, short, sweet, and totally his style. It's like, and now with what happened on SmackDown and him calling himself the best technical wrestler, I've got my fingers crossed. I really do.
I don't know what you're referring to.
Certain someone becoming a free agent.
We haven't got to that yet, but yeah, and he's not a free agent.
I'm well aware, but
we will get to that because obviously it's going to be the last thing we probably talk about. But yeah, Pete Dunne coming out of stuff, yeah, it makes complete sense. It's completely in character, and yeah, you know he wants belts. He's a former United Kingdom champion for one thing, so it's not like he hasn't had belts before, and he can hold them. The only reason he doesn't have that belt now is because Walter.
I mean, I did like the fact that he turned around and said he'd just go back to the UK and slap the taste out of Walter's mouth. Where I was just like, did that work out well for you last time?
I would watch it though.
I would. Everybody's been clamming for the rematch for like over a year now. Like now that everything's died down and stuff, if Walter's to come back over and Pete Dunne just get in his face, and we saw it that side of the pond instead of this side, I'd be all for it.
Yeah, there's not a bad thing there, to be honest.
No.
So cool.
And he turned around and said if he beat Kushida 2 weeks ago, so if he wants the Cruiserweight Championship, all he has to do is ask. And he could take it. I was just like, he's got a point. I mean, you can't exactly say that he hasn't beat Kushida. Because he did, and he made him tap.
Yeah, but he also hasn't earned the right to be a contender for that belt, though.
A win over him pre-championship still says...
No, to me, no. I know how WWE booking works, it probably will end up being that way. But if you want to be entitled to a title shot, you either have to trade something like what happened with Daniel Bryan, or you have to earn it by beating contender match or stuff like that.
Well,
not by beating the champion 2 weeks before he wins the belt or something stupid like that. That's not earning it.
No, I know. What I'm going to say, though, is if Kushida does another open challenge like he did the other week, we could see a rematch.
Possibly, but it depends on where they want to put Dunne, because I think Dunne is more like to be more like North American or possibly the main title, to be perfect.
Oh, send me up for that. Gargano versus Dunne. I've wanted to see that for ages.
I mean, I would much rather have that, in all honesty.
Yeah, just like leave the way BS around like somewhere else.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm happy to see him fight Kushida. I haven't got an issue with that. But I think title-wise, he probably should be looking at one of the top 2 titles, not the... I used to be on 205 Live title.
I mean, he did dabble on 205, but it was just a special guest. It was a special guest thing because he was the UK champion at the time.
Right, yeah. Because
obviously, now that the UK champion isn't in the 205 bracket, they can't really do that anymore.
Yeah, I actually saw him on that when he made that appearance. So yeah,
when he made his first appearance on Raw as well against Enzo Amore, I laughed my ass off because I heard the music and I was just like, "Oh yes!" One of the best moments of one of the best nights of Raw I've like watched for a long time, and to think that's like nearly 4-5 years ago, maybe now.
Yeah, and just think Enzo certainly wasn't laughing.
I mean, when Kalisto came out with a steel chair and sat ringside, I was just like, okay, so who's it going to be? Knowing full well they was in the UK, I was just thinking, nah, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that. And then I heard the music drop, and I was like, yes! Like, yes, break his fucking fingers!
Well, the thing is also you got Moustache Mountain members who it could have been as well. There's quite a few of the UK wrestlers it could have been. But talking about purely UK-based wrestlers, then Pete Dunne is probably is your good bet right there.
Yeah. And the fact that he was just like the badass that nobody else wanted anything of.
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, good luck, Enzo. Good luck.
I mean,
just like Kalisto had the right idea. He just sat there with his feet up. I was like, yeah, I would too.
Yeah, with the way Dunne's, but the only person who's really wanted any part of him was Walter.
And Dunne wanted Walter as well.
Yeah.
He turned around and said, "Give me water."
Yeah, two very rare coincidences right there. Those two guys wanting anyone, or anyone wanting it them in a match.
It's the same with Ilya Dragunov, to be honest.
Yeah.
You don't see many people saying, "Yeah, come on
then." Let's just put me in a triple threat match and just have that.
But possibly a fatal four-way, depending on how the next week lineup of NXT UK goes, and I'll talk about that in a bit.
Oh, okay, cool. Next thing I have is to do with a special appearance.
Yeah, Grimes.
Yeah, that's what I have as well. This didn't surprise me because I knew this was coming.
Yeah, I did too.
And I would say, in all fairness, it kind of makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I just think the problem is, unless you're of an age where you really remember him, it doesn't really work. I'm of the age where I remember him very well.
Same.
But because the thing is, I remember him before he was that character. I remember him when he was in NWA and stuff like that. So I really remember him.
I'm not that old.
Yeah, that's my point. A lot of younger viewers will not even know who he was, but I'm talking about Ted DiBiase for people who do not know, the $1 Million Man.
He's the guy that got the small child to dribble a basketball 10 times and then conceded to kick the basketball as he hit 9.
Yeah, and you look at those skits. There's another one of those skits where he had a guy do something, and that young man grew up to be Rob Van Dam. So just beware who you do that shit to.
Yeah. In other words, you probably end up having Cameron Grimes get beating the crap out of somebody that's probably in the performance center.
Yeah.
Give it a couple of months and yeah, he'd be chokeslammed or something by somebody that's like a foot taller than him, which isn't hard, really. Cameron Grimes.
Yeah.
Not exactly tall.
I mean, the thing is, at least it was an interaction which involved Grimes' character, if nothing else. If he's not going to wrestle, have something that relates to the way he is.
Yeah, I can totally agree with that.
So, but at the same time, you really need to make a big deal about DiBiase for this to really be that effective, particularly with NXT, because NXT's audience tends to skew lower than normal WWE audiences do.
I mean, also to think that DiBiase does have a son that wrestles.
Used to. He's retired.
He's retired?
Yeah. He runs a business now, does Ted DiBiase Jr.
Huh.
But he wasn't.
Any way of him coming out of retirement?
No. He's quite happy out of wrestling as it happens.
Ah. That's a shame.
He's much
better. It would
better.
be funny to see Grimes versus DiBiase Jr.
I fully expect a Virgil at some point if this keeps up.
Virgil?
Ted DiBiase's manservant.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it's worse. He's also a black man, which means that would be really weird. With the way today's the way the modern world is now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but
if this has anything to do with Vince, and I really hope it's not, then there's a chance you'll get that. Because the problem is the only other person who worked really closely with DiBiase was Sherry Martel. Unfortunately, Sherry Martel is no longer with us.
Yeah. Sad.
I would much rather have Sherry Martel out the two of them anyway, because my God, that woman was talented. But unfortunately, she is no longer with us.
Talented and a looker.
Yeah, and knew her character. Very much so.
And stayed in character quite well as well.
Oh, yeah. So we had that at least, which went on. So then I have basically a non-match, essentially, which is the Stone Brand versus the Tag Champions.
And, of course, Robert Stone's been taking it full liberty on social media, saying we are the new tag team champions, rah, 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 even though the match never started.
Bro. It's like Robert Stone, it's a thing. Every time I hear Robert Stone, I just remember Robbie E. Bro. Because that's who he used to be. He was Robbie E in Impact.
Oh, I thought you was referring to Chelsea, his to Chelsea Green and your broski Zack Ryder.
Oh, no, what it was is basically Robert Stone used, when he was Robbie Evans, was basically a Jersey Shore rip-off wrestler, and that was his gimmick.
Oh, I did wonder why you were saying bro instead of woo, woo, woo.
Yeah, he was also once in a tag team called the Bromans. Everything was literally bro, basically. That's why.
He didn't wear those ridiculous glasses when he wrestled, did he?
No, he looked much more ridiculous when he was Robbie E. If you can find any TNA or Impact footage of him, do so. You'll understand how much more ridiculous he was.
Oh dear God.
Yeah. If anything, this is actually a more tamed version of him.
Yikes. Yeah, so now we've got a tag team championship street fight in 2 weeks' time between Ember and Shotzi and The Way.
Yeah, because The Way are the people who made sure this match didn't happen, just to be clear to everyone.
Yeah, they had a flower pot smashed over their head and Ember's face was impaled into a muffin box.
Because you know what The Way will say if anyone accuses them of anything, it'll be, it wasn't us, it was planted. It's their kind of humour, trust me. Exactly.
I'm surprised we didn't get R.I.P. Perry the Potted Plant again, tweeting on Twitter.
Oh God, yeah, Mitch.
Yeah, Mitch the Potted Plant.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Mitch.
To be honest, when I saw that, I was thinking, some fucker somewhere is going to mention Mitch the fucking plant, and you're the first person I know who's actually mentioned it. I've not seen it on social media or anything.
Let's get it trended. R.I.P. Mitch, 2021.
The funny thing being is, if John Moxley had seen that, I fully expect he would have done a tweet.
Yeah,
because that's just his nature.
Yeah.
Or if Jericho had seen it, because they were both involved, obviously, in the original one. So yeah, I could see either one of them doing something.
Yeah, it's the Asylum match. The build up to the Asylum match, should I say?
Yeah. Oh dear. Right. Now on to
Legado versus MSK and Kushida. No.
I have something else to pick on first. Adam Cole.
Skip.
I wish. I'm going to be very quick about this, but basically, what was the point of this? It served no purpose apart from making Kyle O'Reilly very obviously be clear that he is bored of this and wants to move on.
Okay, so we're done.
Just like me. Yeah, basically.
Yay.
I mentioned it because it happened. That's it. So, yes. Lego Felder Hasma against Shida and MSK.
Sorry, getting peckish.
It's all right. As I said, all you guys, if you need to eat and drink on these shows, I do not care. Because, food, it's important. We need to live and all that.
I didn't have much of a dinner this evening, I will say that much.
Well, it was definitely more interesting than the Adam Cole promo.
Yeah, anything's better than the Adam Cole promo. I've watched paint dry and it was more entertaining.
I have literally watched the inside of my eyelids and it was more interesting.
I've destroyed a chest of drawers with my bare hands and it was more interesting.
I know, I was there.
I know, you helped. It was fun.
I know.
I ate a chest of drawers.
Good times when people could be around each other and actually touch shit.
Yeah. And man, did that chest of drawers not stand afterwards?
That Trust the Draws was like
It
basically
deserved it.
that was like Champa off the water.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, good times.
so we have Phantasma against Kushida and MSK.
Yeah. I didn't like the whole MS Kushida thing that MSK came up with. Because that just kind of made me think of a boat, and that's kind of how this match went. It sunk.
Yeah, let's just be very clear. Phantasma won this match, and yeah.
I wasn't expecting it to go the way that it went. I was expecting it to go in the opposite direction. But it kind of made me happy, to be honest, because I like being surprised when watching wrestling. I don't want the thing that I think is going to happen. But at the same time, they made all three champions that they have on that brand look crap against people.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Which is a problem.
You can have a 6-person match like this and do it in a way where you don't make your champions look weak. Because this is one of the reasons you do these kind of matches. So your champions are not being beaten all the time.
Yeah, but in this case, they was. Like, from the start of the bell, like, Blake was getting absolutely pummeled by the three of them, and they were tagging in and out and literally just taking liberty. And then even after the tag was made, Kushida got injured and put through a table, and then the Phantom Driver, and then Legado did Legado on Wesley Blake, and that was all she wrote. It was like, you've just basically made three champions look like chumps. Congratulations. And then to top it off, they were all holding the belts that they wanted in the first place.
Joy. Right.
It's just booking.
Okay, so that's NXT.
I mean, it was a good show, not the worst.
No, definitely not the worst.
As I say, 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I could safely say this week Raw is definitely the worst.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident on that. We haven't even done the other two shows yet, but I'm still pretty confident on that one.
Would you like me to touch upon NXT UK now before SmackDown?
Go for it. I've actually got the matches listed for NXT UK as well because I did research.
This week, this week's episode is my favourite episode. Like, I'd say possibly since the brand's conception.
Okay.
Like, it was a solid 10 for me. Like, solid 10 out of 10. It had everything that I wanted. Everything happened like in a great way. There was no botches. It was heavy hitting from start to finish. And definitely match of the week for me, Satomura versus Valkyrie. It was just, oh my god.
Yeah. What? Also, the thing NXT UK have here listed, which is saying doesn't very much happen in WWE at all, and it's kind of a good thing to see occasionally. We had a match that ended in a ref stoppage.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of that. Don't do it all the time.
It was a great match as well.
But have it as a thing because it makes sense to have it there.
Yeah. It was brutal, hard hitting. It was literally stopped due to a submission by Tio Man. He had a crossface on, and as he leant back on the crossface, I didn't know whether or not it was purposeful enough or whether or not they put the sound effect in because I didn't quite get good enough quality on my phone. But you could hear like a snap and a pop as he leant back on the crossface. And yeah, the guy couldn't move his arm. Like, he was making it look like he couldn't move his arm. Whether or not he could or not was like another question, because obviously not there, not being able to see it in person.
I believe it was Tauman defeating Raja. I believe it was. Yeah,
Tio Man. It's pronounced, yeah.
Well, I'm just going on how it's spelled. I've not heard it pronounced, so.
Yeah, it was brutal. I mean, Raja gave as good as he got, and it was his debut match, so I was quite impressed. But Tio Man's just been ruthless since he hit the scene a couple of weeks ago. Well, he's on the level with Dragunov.
maybe they've got something in mind then for Raja, because if he's lost by ref stoppage, that tends to protect you slightly as a wrestler, because you may be losing, but you're not losing normally. You're losing away where the referee's had to stop the match.
From what I saw of Raja, even though it was against Tio Man and he is like a heavy hit in SOB, Raja looks really promising.
It's always a good thing, because you don't have to make somebody making a debut look bad just because of who they're fighting. There's a way to still get your guy that you want to go forward over and not damage the person who's losing.
No.
And this is a good way to do it.
Yeah. But I wasn't sure whether or not about the audio. You might want to see for yourself, like if you want to go and check it out, then it's on the network. But it sounded like there was a click and a pop as he leant back on the crossface. And I know the crucial ligaments around that area, and like the snap and the pop is given, but like it can easily be edited in if it was pre-taped.
Yeah, it's just which most UK NXT things are. So
yeah,
because they're essentially done by something, for those who don't know, called live to tape, which means they record them live, but it's done direct. It's literally done. Essentially the program's done live, but it's recorded. It doesn't go out on television live.
Yeah, it's like with vlogs for me. I can actually record them in advance and then just do a publishing date for them to be released onto the actual YouTube channel itself.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. But this is what they used to do. This is what a lot of TV programmers do as well. Like, if you watch your soaps and stuff, that's how those work.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. I can do that, but I don't. I do actually record my vlogs on the day, which is why they don't come out until about like 6 o'clock in the evening by the time I'm finished.
Yeah, some of the shows on this network are done that way, and some of them aren't. It literally depends on what it is and the people that are on it. But most of these shows are done live, as you're quite aware, because you're on the live one right now.
Yeah.
So, but it's one of those things. The other thing, I have a breakdown of the actual show, by the way, just to let you know.
Yeah, next was Mastiff talking to Dragunov, I think.
I don't actually have talking segments for this, so if you've got those, you're going to have to let me know what they are.
Well, Dragunov got spoken to, and the person turned around and said, "We've been noticing quite a change in you lately, Dragunov, because obviously he's been having his anger issues where his matches have been stopped like by referees because he's either KO'd or his opponent, or they can't wrestle anymore."
How is that any different from normal?
Yeah. But so you heard somebody open the door and just walk in, and I was like, okay, this is going to be
Black?
No, it wasn't. I thought it was going to be Gradwell again, and we was going to see him get beaten the crap out of, and I was just like, oh yeah, sure, let's go for round 2. I want to see Gradwell get beaten the crap out of. But no, instead, Dave Mastiff walked in. He said, I've heard you've been having some problems with your anger. I have as well. Why don't we, in the spirit of competition, manage our anger together and have a match? And I was just like, Mastiff versus Dragunov. Yeah, I'll take that. Take my money. I'll watch that.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure you really want it. You don't sound like you really want it.
I'd love to see that. This is going to be more brutal than Ilya versus Walter.
But do you really want it? I'm not sure you do. I can't hear it in your voice. You don't sound convinced.
It's not fair. But yeah, it was like I was just like, oh my god, could you imagine how heavy hitting that's going to be next week?
Oh yeah.
And then you had the announcement by Sid Scala and Kaylee Ray.
Is this the women's match? Yeah.
Huh?
It's the women's match for the contendership, right?
Yeah. Gauntlet match.
Yeah, Ginny, Isla Dawn, Pia Brookside, Danny Luna, and Emelina Mackenzie. I have here.
Zaya Brookside and Isla Dawn. The S is silent.
Oh, okay. I don't care.
It's okay. But it's the first gauntlet match in NXT UK history.
I'm old and cantankerous, so that's my excuse.
That's right.
Also, I've never heard their names pronounced before, so it always helps to know. So yeah. So this is a gauntlet match. Okay, that I didn't know.
Yeah, it's been signed up as a gauntlet match.
Be interesting.
Yeah, first ever gauntlet match in NXT UK history, and it's a women's one before a men's one even happened. So
never a bad thing.
No, never a bad thing. Ladies first. See how it goes down, I guess.
Well,
I mean, my pick for
hopefully very well.
My pick would have to be Isla Dawn or Mackenzie, because if you know about Mackenzie before her early career, she was known as Suplex Molly.
I've heard the name before,
yeah. Yeah. She was actually in NXT UK to start off with, but she was injured. She came back after, I think it's got to have been over about a year from an injury.
Yeah, the ones are there's a couple of people in here who are more familiar with, and that'd be Ginny and Zaya Brookside.
Obviously, with her dad, Robbie Brookside. Yeah. Who's a trainer at the PC.
Yeah. So there'll be a lot of if you've got British Wrestling fans watching this, you'll know who Robbie Brookside is.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, Zaya's his daughter.
Yeah. My pick's definitely Isla or Mackenzie. I wouldn't pick anybody else in that, because Ginny's already had her chances, to be honest, unless Connors interferes again. I was surprised not to see Piper Niven in this lineup, though.
I did wonder about that, because I noticed her name was not there, so I didn't wonder.
I mean, she's currently doing a partnership sort of thing with Jack Stars at the moment.
Yeah, there may be a reason she's not involved, to be honest.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. Next thing I have is a match, which is Charles Samuels.
Yeah, and Levi Muir.
Yeah. Now, Charles Samuels, I know, is the Butcher from his independent work. I don't know if that's what he does in NXT UK. Is he still the Butcher?
Yeah, they actually tried to change his name on his first week in NXT UK, and he grabbed a microphone from the side. He says, "I'm not having this. My name's Char fucking Samuels," and I was like,
"That sounds like him."
Oh,
yeah, that's him.
And he's been Char Samuel since. He even came out on his first day. He came out with a completely different name, and I can't remember for the life of me what it was now, because that shocked me so much that I was just like, yeah, I don't need to remember that name then.
You could probably look it up somewhere, but honestly, the way he reacts to that is how he is.
He got kicked out of the ring, and he just grabbed the fucking microphone off the table. He went, "You know what? I'm not having this. I ain't fucking I'm Char Samuels, you mug," and lobbed the microphone on the floor, jumped back in the ring, did his blooming finisher on this guy and pinned him. I was just like, was that supposed to happen? Because I could imagine somebody in the back going absolutely furious at this.
Guess what? It did, and good luck telling Char not to do it.
Well, they haven't told him to go back to his other name, so...
Would you?
I wouldn't.
Yeah, you guys may have guessed, by the way, that Char won this match.
Yeah. I mean, Muir gave a hell of a showing.
Yeah.
But, after Char's spine buster, it was kind of academic.
True. But the thing is with spine busters, and it's a thing for me. The best spine buster was done by the person who invented the bloody move, and that was Arn Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
As simple as that.
There's a double A Spinebuster.
There are others who do good spine busters or even do great ones, but there's only one definitive spine buster, and it's Arn Anderson's.
The double A one.
The double A one is not actually the proper way of doing it. It's what the WWE call it, but never mind. It's not really the point. But if you have spine busters list of order, Arn has a list of people who he thinks do it really well. You have to check out his podcast for the actual list because there's some interesting people on this list. One of which is actually Bobby Roode.
One of them.
Bobby Roode's on that list.
Mm.
Ron Simmons. You guys will know him as Farouk for WWE.
Will A-Train.
Will Hobbs from AEW. So there are a few people on this list that will surprise you. You might have to look up a few of them. And
is Triple H on that list?
Triple H is actually mentioned, yes.
Yeah. I mean, some of the Spinebusters I've seen Triple H do, just like, wow. I bet The Rock's not on there, though, because his Spinebusters pretty much, he just picks you up and drops you.
Well, his is more like a sidewalk slam, but yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
that's nothing against The Rock. Like his moves, fine, fair enough. But
I don't think doing a proper spine buster would work for The Rock anyway. Honestly, I think the one he does works better for him. So
yeah, his is just like it's kind of a pick you up for a split second and put you down on your back.
Well, the point of that move is to set up the people's elbow, so it works. If you had to do a whole spine buster routine, you would be out of position to do the move you're going to follow it up with. So it makes no sense. So to do the one he does makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Making moves.
I just hate the fact that Michael Cole calls it a spine buster.
Yeah, but Michael Cole doesn't know a wrist lock from a wrist watch.
True.
Mainly because Vince tells their commentators not to call them by moves by names. They're supposed to go, "Oh my, what a maneuver!"
And yeah, because then we have incidents like the Viking Express.
Yeah. Involving your favourite commentator, by the way, from Raw.
Dickbag.
Although he's not as much your favourite as Pat McAfee is. So.
I prefer Pat McAfee than him.
You imagine them commentating together, because it probably may happen at some point.
No. Don't do it.
Okay. We should probably go back to NXT UK right now. We'll have Satomura and
Valkyrie.
You've kind of touched on this already, but yeah.
Can't fault it. It was such a great match. Had everything. Like,
is it your watch it match for the week, or do you have another one?
No, this one.
I had a suspicion it might be, strangely enough.
Yeah.
So basically watch it is the best recommendation you can get. The main event I have is a 6-man tag, which is Gallus versus Symbiosis.
Yeah.
Which I will explain. I'll explain the factions for those of you not familiar with NXT UK. Gallus is Wolfgang and the Kofi brothers, and Symbiosis is Eddie Dennis, Primate,
Coffee brothers.
It's not coffee. It's not spelled properly.
It's pronounced coffee.
Don't care. It's not spelled properly. Spell your names properly, then I'll say them that way.
It's Scottish.
I don't care. Spell it properly, and I'll say it properly.
Wow. I don't think you'd like to say that to their faces.
Oh, well, I'll say it to their faces. Just not in person. I'll say it to their faces.
Yikes.
No, to be fair, if I was speaking to them in person, I would say, "Hello, sir." I would not use their actual names because it's called being polite to people you don't know.
I don't know.
Also,
one of them's a landlord as well.
I am the head of creative.
Oh,
also
Jesus.
known Cantankerous Git, which is also part of my gimmick on this show. Just to be clear.
What's my gimmick? Getting tattooed and living to tell about it.
I think yours is just saying pay-per-view name, so you're going to get more drunk.
No.
Well, you've already supposed to drink at least 9 drinks from the pay-per-views you said already. Yeah,
I can hear a dog.
Yeah, next door has a dog.
Oh, I've got a karaoke singing lunatic next door to me.
It's a little tiny dog, so the other side has a baby. So
is it a Bruce?
He's a bit bigger than a Bruce. He's more like a Westie.
I thought you was going to say Charlie then. I was just going to...
Oh no, there's a cat like Charlie, the opposite side as well. But younger. But I can see that cat ending up like Charlie.
Yikes.
So, but we haven't had a Charlie
15
running.
and sleeping in the sink on a daily basis.
I'll say we haven't had a Charlie running this week. What's happened with that?
My bedroom door is closed.
Oh, that'll be right. Also, I haven't had Bruce or Charlie. Fair enough.
He was asleep on my bed when I came upstairs. I don't even know how he opened my bedroom door. I closed it.
He's a cat. That's all I'm going to say.
I think he jumped through my bedroom window.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Just like, forget RKO out of nowhere, it's Charlie out of nowhere.
Yeah, and he does that pose.
Yeah. That's what he wants. Belly rubs, he just goes like that and lays there.
Yeah, he hears voices in his head. They call to him, they understand, they talk to him. That's Charlie's theme song right there. Right. So what did you think about this 6-man?
A good match, and it was a lot of fun to watch. I mean, it was heavy hitting, like as you'd expect from the Gallus bunch, but it was like cheeky in places, as you'd expect from Eddie Dennis, because he's a bit of a psycho.
Because he's Eddie Dennis.
Yeah. I am wondering what they're going to do with Wild Boar. See whether or not he comes back anytime soon, because they've kicked him out of the faction, but there hasn't been any rumor or gossip as to like what's actually going to happen to him, or whether he's been released, or don't know.
They may still be working on it.
Yeah, I mean, he could come back for some payback, like without his Wild Boar gimmick.
10. That's 10 drinks now.
Huh?
Payback's a WWE pay-per-view. That's another drink.
I didn't even do that on purpose. Wow.
Told you I was counting.
There's no limit to what you can do, is there?
Nope. None at all.
Am I over the limit yet?
You've already done that one.
Good.
I'm not counting repeats. Because if I count repeats, then you'd be like in 30 odd by now. Right, so the 6-man was won by Gallus.
I'd be over the amount of WrestleManias we'd had.
Yeah. I mean, that's 37 all on its own. So,
so I'm on 11 now, ain't I?
Yeah.
Just checking you remembered that one. Had to squeeze it in somehow.
Oh no, I've been counting. So yeah, that was NXT UK, which I'm not surprised. Apparently, is Aaron's favourite show of the week, because I'm pretty sure this is going to get a very high mark. I think you spoke this earlier.
It was a 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, you said this earlier.
Nothing wrong. Worked on the storylines perfectly. Had hard-hitting matches, really good wrestling. Nothing wrong with it at all.
Cool. Right, now on to Aaron's second favourite show of the week. It's SmackDown! Commentated by Pat McAfee.
Saying it was my second favourite isn't actually wrong, because there is only 4 of them, and this was joint second with NXT, so...
Yeah, but this also involves Aaron's favourite commentator, which is Pat McAfee.
Shut up. I don't have favourite commentators. I don't like any of them anymore. I've decided this now.
Makes sense.
I miss JR.
The thing I would say, right, and you mentioned JR, that this is a point I'll make. I think the problem with WWE commentators is the fact that they're not allowed to be characters; they're all supposed to be generic, and I think that's the big issue with them. When you had commentators like JR and Morrow's another good example of this. They had characters; they were individuals. They brought something to the matches of themselves, but also made the matches better because of themselves. And I think that's one of the big issues the WWE programs have now, because they don't have commentators do that anymore. They're literally just, oh my, what a maneuver.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I couldn't sit there and say that for like the pay that they get.
Also, you got a nut job screaming in your ear for 2 or 3 hours each time you do a show for WWE on the main roster.
Actually, I probably could do that because I've got like a nut job screaming in my ear for almost 24 hours a day.
And does it say
16 because she sleeps for like 8?
And does it say there's some good shit?
After taking her meds every now and then, yeah.
Okay.
I love my mom, I swear.
Yeah, I was going to say, people, he's not talking about Charlie, just to be clear.
Or Bruce.
Or Bruce, yeah. So now we're on to SmackDown, which begins with a sort of promo thingy, but turns into a 6-man tag, basically.
I mean, it was a great match to start off the show. It was understandable why it happened.
Logic-wise, at least it made sense. Obviously, just to let people know, it was Bianca Belair with the Street Profits against Bayley and the Dirty Dogs.
Yeah, it was kind of odd how it actually made sense the way the show kicked off.
Yeah.
Because of like they kind of followed on from the week before. I was just like, are they kind of like learning? Have they like learnt something?
You know, accidents happen. That's all I'm saying. But here's an example of something. You've got the tag team champions in this match, by the way, and the women's champion in this match, but they're on different sides here. Okay? This is an instance where if you're going to beat your champions, this makes sense, because you don't beat the one who's only just become a champion. You beat the ones who've held belts longer. This is how you do this.
Yep. This was good booking for a change.
Yeah. Also, it doesn't hurt Ziggler or Rouge to take losses because of the duration and longevity they have. Also, this will hopefully help the profits, but we'll see.
And it will also make Bayley look good because she didn't get pinned either.
Exactly, helping Bayley, which is the other thing. Also, you don't damage Bianca at all.
Yeah.
Your new champion. So it made sense. So that match is an up. It's like, this is a good thing. Well done. This is how you do a 6-man.
The show with an up for a change was a nice breath of fresh air.
Yeah. This is how you do a 6-man. Remember this match, WWE, when you book more of them.
Yes.
Next thing I have is a Daniel Bryan interview.
It just another thing as well, because it was a mixed match as well, and we don't really see those on main rosters that often. So to see it opening the show and have it that star quality as well was a nice touch.
Just to explain, by the way, to be very clear, this is a mixed match. It wasn't intergender.
Yeah.
Okay. Just to explain the difference, because some of our fans may get confused. Some of them may get confused. A mixed match basically is you have men and women in the same teams, but the women have to fight the women and the men have to fight the men.
Yeah.
Intergender is when they can all fight each
other.
Yeah, I'm just explaining to the viewers what the difference is.
Even though there was some intergender action between them.
It usually happens even in mixed matches, but obviously it's not meant to be.
Yeah.
Also, WWE are very much... Yeah, WWE are very much a no on that instance. The only woman wrestler who's really done that, well, actually, there's two of them. You had Ronda Rousey and Nia Jax. I'm talking about current ones.
Yeah.
Because Ronda did it to Triple H, and Nia Jax was in the Royal Rumble where she took moves from Ziggler, Orton, and Mysterio.
Also Reginald, if we're talking on the other foot too.
He doesn't really count, but yeah.
What about Oscar? She took a move from James Ellsworth.
Again, doesn't count. We're talking about proper wrestlers, not jobbers. Reginald and Ellsworth are essentially jobbers. They're not main wrestlers.
I thought Ellsworth was.
No, jobber. He just happened to win matches and got over. He's still a jobber. Bear in mind the difference, right? Ronda, Triple H.
Yes,
high level, right? Okay. Then you got Nia, who's Randy, high level. Dolph, veteran. Rey Mysterio, legend. See the difference? Yeah. It's all with people who know what they're doing and aren't going to hurt anyone.
Even though Nia's had hurt.
I'm talking about the men here, to be clear.
The smile on Orton's face when he hit on Nia with that RKO is just a picture that I'll treasure forever.
Oh, yeah. He used to those out to female talent a lot when they were able to. So, yeah. It was probably nice for him to be able to do it.
Oh, you forgot someone. Stephanie McMahon. Because she took an RKO from Orton at the WWE World Championship title thing.
Yeah, that's not recent though, is it?
No, but we was talking about current roster, and she is in the current roster because it's Stephanie McMahon.
Not an active competitor, so no.
Okay, let me have a good one then.
Yes, obviously, yes, he did that to Stephanie quite a few times actually, but she's not.
As well as the punt kick.
But she's not a wrestler. Is my point. It's the same reason that Reginald and Ellsworth don't count. She's not. Stephanie is essentially a jobber when it comes to wrestling terms because she's not trained. She's also not that good. She is not main level talent. Despite the fact what Stephanie thinks, she's not. You couldn't put Stephanie in an actual match against someone like Asuka and expect her to hold her own because she wouldn't. Or against Sasha or against Bayley. She just wouldn't.
She's done it against Nikki Bella. Make you laugh. I knew I'd make you laugh.
I thought for a second there you were serious. Only for a second, though.
Got ya.
I was thinking, you dumb bastard, but no.
I'm glad Steph's not watching.
Well, we all know Nikki Bella's got no talent.
She's got enough to slap Bayley around the face, but that's it.
That's not talent, that's just dumb luck.
More like a constant want from half the fans, but yeah, sure, let's go with luck.
Yeah, something like that. Right, let's go back to the program before we do upset someone. So,
oh no.
Okay. Right. Daniel Bryan interview. Well, I kind of expected it to be something like this, considering what was going to happen later on.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's Daniel Bryan. It's an interview. You know he's going to be good. It's fine. It did what it was meant to do. Simple as that.
Can't disagree.
Next thing I have is Seth Rollins doing a promo where apparently he wants Cesaro next week. And apparently a lot of these wrestlers, when they were giving their interviews and stuff, were doing predictions for the main event, which I found particularly weird because they kind of foreshadowed what was going to happen. And this annoyed me greatly. He predicted Daniel Bryan to win this match.
Yeah.
Don't worry, when we get to the main event, I'll talk more about that sort of thing. But yeah, so Seth Rollins challenged Cesaro for next week. We'll find out later if Cesaro responds because I do have the response later. Next thing I have is Tamina and Natalia against Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler.
Good match, no complaints. Except Reginald really needs to fuck off.
Yeah, pretty much. Do you know the best part about this match?
Natalia and Tamina winning.
Yes.
Duh.
Because I've had enough of Jax and Baszler as a team. They need to stop.
Couldn't agree more.
Mainly because Baszler deserves better.
Yes. Hell yes. Hell to the yes.
Yeah. Because apparently Vince just doesn't get her from what I've been told. And I'm like, really?
She's like the female version of I'm trying to think of somebody who just like literally would dominate the shit out of anybody if they could.
Brock.
Yeah. Go on then. Yeah. That'll do.
Yeah. I agree. But for whatever reason, he just doesn't see it. And I'm like thinking, right. Yeah, I'm happy Natalia and Tamina won this simply because about bloody time. And yeah, let's just take this breakup of this stupid tag team that's been going way too long.
Have you noticed that most of the tag teams that have held the championships have broken up?
I'm hoping for another one. You know,
except Tamina and Natalia, I hope they stay together. That seems to be good for each other.
I say, you know, Baszler was probably in the dressing room somewhere going, please. Cool. Next thing I have is a promo from Nakamura, where he also talks about the main event.
They did this all the way through. They showed a picture of Roman and Daniel sit opposite each other and said main event tonight predictions, and then these kept on coming up all the way through the show. So it was all supposed to be getting their predictions, but it was
I will be going through them as we go along because we have that. We also have the Mysterios, Dominic and Ray being interviewed. They also talk about the main event.
They was asked about it, so it's kind of a given, really.
Because unlike the others, this was an interview, not a promo, so they were being talked to. So it's a bit different. They're also looking to get a tag team title match. The Mysterios. This came up in this interview.
Yeah.
So, because apparently Dominic wants to be the first father-son tag team champions, which I'm sure is actually a first for WWE anyway.
I think it's a first in wrestling anywhere, to be honest.
I don't think it is actually. I think it's happened. I think it's happened before. Because I had this thought earlier. I couldn't find it, but I'm sure it has happened before. I just don't think it's happened. I'm pretty sure it hasn't happened. I'm very sure it wasn't WWE though. It's probably a territory thing, so most people probably won't know what it is, but I'm sure it has happened. It may only have been once, but I think it has happened before. So I may be wrong, but something in my brain tells me it's happened. I've seen it before, so we'll see. But if the Mysterios manage to do it, I actually think it'd be quite an interesting thing because I think it will lead to them eventually splitting up.
Yeah, if Mysterio retires. Maybe say that was his one last wish to get a championship with his son and then retires. So he's getting old.
Well, yeah, but the way Ray is, to be honest, you'd never know.
No.
So, but we'll see what happens with that. But it may lead to that.
I read in an article he actually started wrestling when he was like 18.
Oh yeah, Ray was very young. I mean, you got to bear in mind, obviously, you train before you wrestle as well. So,
because he was Mysterio Junior before he was Mysterio.
And before that, he wrestled under his actual name because he had to wait before he was given the Mysterio name by his uncle, who was the original Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
So, and for those of you who would like to watch the original Rey Mysterio, very easy way for you to do it. Go to the WWE network, whether you've got Peacock or the actual network here. Go to WCW, go to Starrcade 1990, and look for the Mexican team in the Pat O'Connor Tag Team Tournament. The two competitors in that match, one of them is Rey Mysterio Sr., and the other one is actually Conan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you get to see both of them long before they became a big thing in America.
Ow.
So just gives you an idea, because we're talking about Conan, who's like Wolfpack and that sort of Conan. This is him way before that, and Rey Mysterio Senior will give you an idea of where Rey comes from. So nice little thing for people to look at if they want to. It seems easy to find. If you've got the network, you can find it. It's the 1990 version of Starrcade.
Yeah, and the way they move in the ring, you can tell how related they are.
Oh yeah, definitely. Right.
If you're an avid wrestler fan, when you see two people from the same family in the ring together, or see them in the ring and watch somebody else that's related to them in the ring afterwards, you just can see it. It's like they're walking in the same footsteps.
In some cases, yes, but there are certain wrestlers who are related where you look at them and you just think, no. David and Ric Flair spring to mind. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but I was talking about like Eddie and Chavo Guerrero.
Oh yeah, but I'm just explaining it's not always the case, is my point.
Yeah, I know.
A lot of time, yeah, you're right. You've got the Guerreros where most of the family wrestle. Eddie's daughter wrestles, for example. Mm-hmm. And you can tell she's Eddie's daughter just by the way she is. But yeah, certain wrestlers you can just tell by the way. But Dominic, you know Dominic was Rey's son just by watching how Dominic moves in the ring. He ain't got the same style, but there are things he does where you can tell he's Rey's son.
Yeah, and I know if you look back on it, if you watched Jeff Hardy wrestle and then watched Matt Hardy wrestle, even without the last name, you'd know that they were related to.
Similar styles, yeah. It's one of those weird things. Although someone who emulated it well, considering they're not related, was Kane and Undertaker.
They really did, yeah.
Yeah. Because Jacobs did a very good approximation of Undertaker, being similar enough to him so people would at least glance possibly believe, okay, I can believe that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but most of the time, if they are related, you can tell. But sometimes you look at two people and they're related and you think, no. I gave you an example, which there are a few others, but most it's a case of, oh yeah, you can tell.
Yeah. So the hearts and stuff as well, especially.
Natalia and her dad.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, let's see. Right, so next thing I have is something different. Aleister Black.
Ooh, yeah.
And his message.
Yeah. I'm not liking the looks of this, to be honest. And I'm an Aleister Black fan.
To me, it just seems like they've locked him in that same room again.
No, I don't think so.
But he's not doing anything other than just sitting there reading stuff and saying stuff. And it's like, but you're not wrestling. That's what I mean.
Like it's just what they're asking him to do. That it's not what he wants to do. You can kind of see it from the look in his eyes. He's just not happy doing it.
I don't think he wanted to do it the first time they did it, but I think the other thing is now, of course, after what happened with his wife, I imagine he doesn't really want to do anything for WWE.
Yeah, I think he would be happy to see his contract expire, and then he can just go elsewhere. Probably back to Impact, maybe.
What's weird is her contract, her non-compete's also expired, and she hasn't surfaced anywhere.
No, she's happy with her gaming.
Yeah, I suppose I figured she would turn up somewhere, even if it was just like for appearances or something, but she hasn't been linked with anything.
I mean, she's got both of her feet underneath her with her followers and her fans and her gaming on Twitch as well as like all other platforms. She's doing really well.
Well, that's fair enough. I mean, she might end up doing a Miro where he did all that for a while, and then when he decided, he went and did AEW. So maybe she'll do
No,
something similar. Maybe not necessarily with AEW, but she may end up going somewhere after a while when she feels right. I have been ready to go. Maybe she's waiting for fans.
no. I mean, maybe she's waiting for her husband.
Yeah, there could be a million reasons why. So yeah,
Yeah.
but good luck to her, whatever she's doing.
Yeah, I mean, like I joined one of her streams the other night because I couldn't sleep and she was streaming. Because obviously we're there in the US and we're in the UK, the time difference.
Yeah,
And she seemed to be really well adjusted and really happy.
Thea Trinidad, people do support a very, very talented lady who is very badly dealt with by WWE.
Yeah, definitely follow, and if you can afford to subscribe, definitely. She's really funny.
Yeah, support is always useful for people who are doing these things. Like it really is, no matter how big or small they happen to be.
Yeah, I subscribed the week she got released because like I knew that she was going to need all the support she could get, so I subbed straight away.
A lot of people did that because I saw the reaction. I saw reaction footage of the stream she did right after she got that happen, and so many people were giving her messages and subscribing. She got very emotional.
Yeah, it's just like she's such a genuine and nice person, like, and it really shows on the streams. It's just like if you're not a decent person and you stream, it shows because you're on camera for that entire time. So
yeah, I mean,
you've got that set up.
The thing is, I know quite a bit about Thea Trinidad because before WWE, she was Impact. She was there. I also know a bit about her personal life, which is not for me to share. You guys need to look that stuff up for yourself. Basically, she has a very tragic story in her past. Look it up, find out for yourself. It's not my story to tell, or possibly see what she has to say about it. But it's definitely worth finding out and definitely seeing what she has to offer you. Especially if that's your thing, because gaming. Some people really like gaming. Aaron's a good example of this. Aaron likes the gaming. See it this way. See, I mean, Aaron streams gaming, so that should kind of tell you how much Aaron likes gaming. So, but yeah, Aleister Black. We'll see where this goes if it goes anywhere. I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah, I've kind of given up on it as well, and you know how much of a fan of his I was in NXT.
Yeah. Hopefully Tommy End gets a better go of it when the time comes.
Yep.
Okay. Next thing I have is a Woods and Kingston talking about Daniel Bryan. They praise Daniel. These two, however, have different opinions as to who's going to win the match. Woods has gone with Bryan and Kofi picks Reigns. At least this made sense. If you're going to do a prediction, you got a tag team and they both pick different people in the match because you're not spoiling anything here by doing this. But at the same time, I still think it was stupid having them do these predictions. So anyway, Intercontinental title match.
Big E of them are actually in the title picture either, so having them weigh in on a singles title is just confusing to me.
I understand Kofi getting involved because Kofi's a former WWE champion.
I mean, unless they're trying to like pre-shadow a split in them two as well.
Yeah, there may be something to it.
Bit of foreshadowing maybe, but
I mean WWE generally don't book like that, but because that would be quite smart. So, but we'll see. Yeah. It could be a thing. Let's see. We have an Intercontinental title match between Big E and Apollo Crews. And this match basically sucked.
Yeah, it did. Generally.
The result was a disqualification because Aaron's favourite person got involved.
I mean, we all know it was going to happen. Like, we all knew that it was going to happen, ending like a DQ as soon as Babatunde or Aziz or whatever you want to call him came out with Apollo.
We do have a question to ask Aaron, though. What way was the spear?
Upside down again. I hope he trips and impales his foot.
We should do a segment called Spear Watch. Which way was the spear? We'll do it every
He came out with it one time the right way around. The very first week he brought it out. Ever since he's been holding it upside down. Probably because Fox went, oh, we don't like sharp, pointy things on our shows. Can you flip it up the other way, please?
Which is kind of funny considering Fox are also the people who support pro-gun laws. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. We want to look like good guys and bad guys.
Yeah.
But no sharp, pointy things, please.
Yeah, basically, this match ended in DQ. Eventually ended up a big schmoz. You also got Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn became involved in this as well. So I'm assuming they're all going to be like some sort of intercontinental title thing going on with these guys. But we will see. Right. Next thing we have is Cesaro responding to Seth Rollins' challenge, which Cesaro accepts. So next week, well, I guess we get into Seth Rollins versus Cesaro. Okay, cool. Cesaro predicts Daniel Bryan to win, which pretty much tells you what the result of the main event's going to be because it's next. Speak. Video. You have to speak because people can see you.
I know. The new music's just no.
I am glad they changed it because it needed to be changed, but...
Yeah, but no. Not that. Why have you gone with the rappy, like, sort of stuff? Why not, like, kind of Islander music, Samoan music? Instead, you've gone... Dun, 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 dun,
I can tell exactly why. Because it's racist if you do it.
But he says he's the head of the table. He's the chief. He's Samoan. Have some Samoan kind of music. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I suspect it's a case of they're worried about it seeming like it's racist or stereotyping. Because I'm guessing it's a stereotype thing. Maybe they're worried about people, the whole cancel culture bollocks that's going on in the world, which is dumb. But it's the way the world is going right now. So I'm guessing this is why you've got that sort of rappy stuff, as Aaron puts it. I mean, it's the world's most generic piece of crap, but at the same time, it could still have been worse. Oh, it could have. Trust me, it could have been much worse. You could have got something similar to Dolph Ziggler's music. You see, I told you it could be worse.
As a music student, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, you see what I mean. So that leads us...
Sorry for the interruption.
Yeah, it's all right. So that leads us to Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns. If Daniel wins, he's the Universal Champion. If Roman wins, Daniel is barred from being on SmackDown. Who did not know this result before it happened?
No, I had it spoiled for me.
Yeah, there's also the fact of all these predictions earlier in the show really made it obvious what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure you've all guessed by now because we don't have a new Universal Champion. Roman won. Which means Daniel can't compete on SmackDown anymore.
Oh, I'll say this now. I mean, it was a great match. knew who won because of what happened, but I just hope we don't see Daniel Bryan in a luchador mask next week on SmackDown,
Well, the thing is,
because that's just WWE booking to a T.
the thing about this is Daniel's now got about, I think it's 5 to 6 months of his contract left.
Mm-hmm.
And Daniel wants to not be full-time once his contract expires. So I suspect what may happen here is if they want to try and keep him on in some fashion so they don't lose him completely, they may give him what he wants. I'm assuming he'll get to wrestle across different brands. I'm guessing you may see him pop up on Raw, NXT. If we're really lucky, NXT UK.
I don't think he'd actually fit in at NXT UK, to be honest.
For the odd match, it would make no difference. I'm not talking about permanently.
I mean, he could be like a little final boss around places.
You have to bear in mind NXT UK, unlike the other shows, it's batch taped. So you could have him turn up one weekend where they do tape a few shows and he appears on those and has a couple of matches against a couple of decent people like Dragunov or something. And all it is just like a special challenge thing, and that's it.
Yeah.
They don't have to mean anything. They could
give him like a farewell tour.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm referring to.
Goes to every place he wants to, wrestles everyone he wants to.
Yeah, and we mentioned this earlier as well because we talked about Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
So that would be a good match. You got Walter out there as well. I mentioned Dragunov in NXT UK. There's a few things that could happen match-wise. But the problem is what's going to happen is about 5 or 6 months when Daniel's contract actually expires, there's a good chance he's going to be gone and is improperly gone unless something changes.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason being is he wants to spend more time with his kids, and I don't blame him for that at all because they're still quite young. And he doesn't want to miss out on that. And I don't have an issue with that at all. I say good luck to the guy. But there are wrestling companies out there who, if Daniel wants a lesser schedule or not so much work, they will accommodate that. So there's a good chance they will lose him to one of those companies if they can't sort something out with him. And it'll be a big mistake for WWE if they lose him.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
So, but on the plus side to the actual match result is it makes Roman look even more of a badass.
Is that a plus, though?
Oh, it is, because you're trying to make Roman look dominant and be like the champ. So you want him to do things like this.
I suppose.
But you still need to stop the bloody Jey Uso shit.
Agreed.
Because him and Cesaro got embroiled in this, and it's like, way to make your champion look not strong. So, but you never know. As you said before, you might end up next week getting El Brianico turn up to wrestle next week wearing a hemp luchador mask.
Made out of a potato sack.
Yeah, it has to be something that's obviously vegan.
Yeah. El Veganos Matadoros.
I mean, the thing is that he can't do full vegan because he's actually got a medical thing. So he actually has to have certain things that vegans can't have. So he said to stop being a vegan. This was a while ago. But I know he's still very much of that belief. So, in which case, it makes sense for it to be like a hemp mask or something.
Yeah.
So, but
no chinchilla fur or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, whatever happens though for Daniel Bryan, I wish him good luck. Whether it's WWE, whether he goes to home to be a dad, or he finds somewhere else to go. Good luck to the guy. I think he's earned it.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see what happens with Roman, because without Daniel Bryan being around, that could be cause them some issues as to a challenger, because there isn't really anyone, is there?
Yeah.
Unless they plan to use this Rollins-Cesaro match to determine a new contender, maybe.
That could be an interesting plot twist.
So we'll see what happens. It's the only thing I can think of as far as anyone who's been around that main event thing who maybe an easy way to get a very quick contender in time for you know what.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to say it. He doesn't have to do 12 shots.
I've already said WrestleMania Backlash.
I was going to say, I was wondering if you'd remembered.
And I said Backlash separately, so.
I know. You've already done both, I know. I was just wondering if you'd remembered, so yes. But so that's it for SmackDown. So what did we think?
I gave it an 8 out of 10. Generous, kind of, I guess, but there wasn't really many matches to criticize, to be honest.
Yeah, that would be the thing. It's shorter than Raw, so it does have that advantage to it, but 4 matches in 2 hours is still quite short.
Mm-hmm.
So
I wasn't a fan of everybody giving their opinion on the main event. If they'd have got rid of that, it might have been better.
I mean, the one thing I will say from this, at least they didn't have Triple H or Vince McMahon in those segments telling you who they thought would win. That would have been far too obvious.
Yeah.
So, I'm kind of surprised, I mean, you had all those things there, you didn't have Heyman do one. I did find that kind of weird. But anyway, so now we've finished with SmackDown. There's one thing we will cover now before we disappear, and that will be something that has surfaced over the last couple of days on social media to do with the women's wrestling, particularly with WWE. And that is the mention, particularly by Mick Foley, that maybe the women should have their own brand. It's something that Mickie James apparently approached WWE about as well before her release.
Yeah.
Do you think this would be beneficial to WWE for the women to have their own brand?
I think it would do wonders for them, to be honest.
Why?
Because they'd be able to give more time to the women, maybe create a separate individual writing team, a separate creative team for the women to give them space to do their own thing.
Okay. That's fair enough. I'm gonna give my response to this, and I think it's a bad idea, and I'll tell you why. The whole point of getting the women are looking for is to be on the same level as the men. Yes, they want the same sort of stories, they want the same sort of pushes, they want the same sort of exposure. By taking them off the show with the men and having them have their own show, you're telling people they are not as important because you are taking them away from the main shows.
Oh, no, I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. I personally think you need to have them on the same shows as the men, but you need to give them more. You need to give them stories. You need to book them better. But to be fair, the men need to be booked better as well, but you need to give the women the same sort of booking as you give the men. Do not give the women these storylines where, oh, he's my friend, now you're my friend, and that's the crux of the storyline. You need to give them more than that. Have sort of random woman smack somebody with a kendo stick and say, I want to beat this bitch. Don't just have them be, oh, we're friends, and then they fall out like Bayley and Sasha. It's like, for God's sake. Women aren't just all buddy, friendly. Women have different aspects to them like men do. Treat them that way when you book them.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm just giving my very tame opinion. response to my opinion. I can go on a lot more and say a lot more stuff, but I think I've made my point quite clear. This is why I disagree with it as a principle. I do think a show strongly for the women could be beneficial, though. Don't get me wrong, but I think it could also. I think it would also possibly, at this point in time, do more harm.
I mean, you could even go as far as to say that they do already have their own show. Like, I thought, like, there's like the Total Divas kind of section that is literally just for the women.
Oh, you're on about the actual reality show thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, but
the male wrestlers, that was their idea as well.
But male wrestlers do appear on that, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, but it is focused on the female side of things, and Total Bellas is exactly the same thing.
Well, Total Bellas is different because Total Bellas is strictly the Bellas. They are the main focal point of that series. And if you're going to call a series Total Bellas, they should be. Absolutely, they should be. Total Divas, again, the women should be the primal focus because that is what it is.
Yeah.
My issue with Raw and SmackDown, particularly, and to a lesser degree NXT, because they didn't do this much better. You need to treat those because those shows aren't targeted specifically at certain genders or demographics in that regard. You need to give people both to the same levels, to the same booking, give them the same chances and the same exposures, push them, advertise them the same way. For example, the WrestleMania match, Bianca and Sasha Banks. Women's title match, big thing. Was going to make history when it happened, right? The build up to it was appallingly bad, but then you had Lashley and Drew, who had a build up. It wasn't the best of build up, but they had one. But the women's build up was all about Reginald. Not Sasha and not Bianca. This is a problem. My point being, essentially, you need to do better for the women performers and talent in the company. You can't treat them the way they're treated. It's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying you need to give them everything because you shouldn't, but you need to be fair. Give everyone the same chances, same opportunities. They'll either run with them, or they will sink out of sight without a trace. But at least give them the chance to do one or the other. Otherwise, what's the point in having them? They don't do anything for you if they're just sat there going, what are we doing this week? I don't know. Are we being friends this week? Yes, we're being friends this week. Oh, lovely.
It's infuriating.
Yeah. But, I mean, it is, and hopefully it does change.
Oh, I'm getting shouted at again, so I'm probably going to have to head off.
No, so we're gonna do the outro now anyway, because we've pretty much covered everything anyway. So with that, I'll do Aaron's first, so that way if he has to go, he gets to go quickly. So we have Aaron's charity page right here. So Karen McCullers presents Try Something New Month, which is supporting Anxiety UK.
Yep.
To raise awareness. And Aaron will be trying something new every day for the next month. And your one tomorrow is Galaxy Bars. Don't eat mine, you greedy pig.
Oh no, it's not just Galaxy Bars, it's Galaxy Orange Smooth.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's smooth.
So I'm sure he'll let us all know how that turns out. But he'll be trying something new each day for the rest of the month, from what I understand, yes?
And you will have to bear with me because I don't have access to a lot of exotic stuff, as I would have if COVID was.
Yeah, also, we're in a lockdown.
Yeah. So I'm literally having to go to the co-op on a daily basis and grab something that I've never tried before. It might get to the point where I might try drinking a cup of laundry detergent just to keep you guys happy, but I'll try not to.
Yeah, let's not do that part.
No.
Try something different, but yeah, don't be drinking stuff that could actually hurt you. That's.
I mean, there's some
Yeah.
alcohols that I haven't tried before, so might give me an excuse.
Yeah, an excuse. Also, you can find Aaron doing Twitch. This is obviously an old graphic because this followers thing here is a lot more numbers now. It's more than this because it's after that 24-hour gaming trial thing. It's now what 400 and.
Oh, I haven't checked it in a couple of days.
Basically,
that reminds me. I need to update it actually.
Yeah, this number's a lot more now. Basically, people, it's over 400.
429, I think.
Get that off the screen. 429 followers. There you go. See?
Nice. And that was the 24-hour challenge.
God. I will update this graphic when I can to reflect that because that's a big jump. So well done.
It came up 15 minutes less than 24 hours though. They chopped 15 minutes off my stream for some reason. Don't know why.
I'm sure there's a reason why, but God knows what it is. So.
It's got over 126 views on it though. So.
Well, that's cool.
Some people liked it. It's all right.
That's never a bad thing. So let's see. Let's do the network stuff. So obviously, Network's Twitter is here. If you want to get in touch with us on this, hashtag 50/50 booking. Same, and it's the same thing for the Instagram. There you go. You can get a hold of us there as well. Obviously, for the Patreons, here you go. You can do this here. You can help support us as well. Those of you who are on Patreons, you can just contact us directly through there. There's also certain merch and stuff depending on what levels you subscribe at. And we are pretty much sorted and covered at this point. So, is there anything else we need to mention at all that we haven't covered?
Nope. Oh, do you like my new hair colour for the month?
Oh, okay. Yes, I was wondering about that because it's a bit dark there. So,
yeah.
See.
It's like blue and like green in the roots.
Now, is that because it's the colour for the is that Anxiety's colour? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Just to let everyone know, because Aaron colours his hair depending on what colour the charity is.
Yeah, with the Caring with Colours logo on the charity link, the green and the blue on that's the Anxiety UK's logo's colour.
Yeah, just thought I'd flash up so people could see it again. So yeah, it gives you an idea.
Yeah.
So that's why Aaron's hair is the colour it is right now because of the Anxiety.
Yeah, and my scalp at the current moment in time as well because I've only recently done it, so I'm blue in places. Not that you can really see. I tried to get as much off as I could.
I can actually see that, by the way. For some reason, I just want to start going.
You leave my mushroom house alone, you bastard.
For those of you who don't know, that was the Smurfs theme tune.
Not the mushroom house bastard part, though.
I was going to say, I don't remember that being in the Smurfs.
Papa, what are you doing to Smurfette?
It's called sodomy.
It's called ventriloquism.
What? Is it Jeff Dunham? What?
I kill you.
I kill you.
Kill me.
It's good. Right. Before we go off on more tangents and stuff, I think we should let the people go so that way they can go relax and have fun. Enjoy.
On a stick.
Yes, you all have fun on a stick, apparently. So, you guys let us know any comments or queries, questions, stuff like that. We will be back next Sunday. I'll work out a time when I get close to it. The reason this was later than usual is because I've just spent the entire day working.
And I've spent the entire day catching up on this week's events.
Yeah, that's the other reason as well, because literally just before we started, Aaron had just finished. So
yeah.
So that's what it is. But you guys can always watch us on demand if you can't catch us live. So, you know, it's better if you can join us live because obviously we can interact with you or you can interact with us. But catch up afterwards if you can't do that, it's fine too. Because, you know, I always check these things anyway. So if you do want to leave messages and stuff, let us know. And with that, people, I think it's time to wave goodbye because we've been banished from the YouTubes for a week. We'll be back in our luchador masks next Sunday. I will be El Pitaco and Aaron will be El Coloro.